Hi folks, welcome to another zxspectrum 48K review. My name is Nick and this time we're playing Zaxxon, published by US Gold in 1985, based on the arcade coin-up from SEGA in 1982. This game also came out on the Commodore 64 and the MSX, and I think there was an unofficial conversion on the Commodore Amiga also. So let's change these keys to something a little bit more useful. But it's an isometric shooter. You're controlling a shuttlecraft through different zones. We previously looked at Havoc, which came out the year before, which I think in retrospect might have been an unofficial conversion of Zaxxon with a slightly different name. That game was pretty flat and tricky to control, so we'll see how this one compares. It's the official conversion from US Gold in 1985. So we've got lots of obstacles to get round. There'll be electric beams, walls, deep space, ships to avoid, and my name is Nick, as it says there. Right, away I go. Graphic looks very similar to the one in Havoc, although the shadow looks a little bit better. So on the left is your height going up and down. On the right is fuel. We've got 4 ships left, and I think we get more fuel by blowing up these yellow dump things here. But you need to get quite low to shoot them. No, you haven't shot that one. Oh, I've shot that one, right, so that keeps the fuel up to the top. So in the fuel is green, yellow and red. If it's in the red, you're starting to run out of problems. Okay, so it's moving very, very slowly. I think it's moving slow, even slower than Havoc. It might be my imagination, but this has got a lot more. Oops, this has got a lot more colour than Havoc, and the explosions look a bit more crazy too. Yes, these reviews aren't about expert gameplay, as you know. They're about seeing how the game would have played on your first or second go, and would have been enough there if you want to play it again. Now, the isometric of it going up is cutting off a little bit of the screen, so you can never see too much what is going on. Colour clash looks abysmal here, but I think I would have played it a bit, but I don't think it would have been one of my favourites, but let's just keep on playing. I'll be very interested to see what the unofficial Amiga version looks like, if indeed I can get hold of that. It might be a rare one to try and get hold of. But there's a storyline behind this. Just destroy everything. That basically, you need to get to the fortress of Zaxxon. Yes, they've destroyed the Earth or something like that. It generally is that sort of idea. So, you know, good display. Zaxxon in the middle in half white and half magenta. My ranking there is Space Cadet, I believe. Starts off on easy. If you complete the game, it restarts, I think, on a slightly higher difficulty. So Havoc was by Dynavision in 84, Zaxxon by US Gold in 1985. If you know any similar games as this, then let me know. But yeah, the colour clash is unforgivable, really, for 85. They should have sorted that out. And this sound as well feels like I'm on a penny farthing rather than a jet fighter. Yeah, quick, change the chain. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a chain of an old bike, doesn't it? Yeah. Zaxxon, the arcade game, moves a lot quicker than this, but remember, this is 8-bit technology. There was a wall here. Different points for... Did I get past that? Yeah, different points for blowing up radar dishes and blue aircraft on the ground there. I think we're going over some sort of runway. There's a line down the middle anyway. Good. I think I would have played this once in a while. It was on one of those C90 tapes from the playground, but I don't think I would have liked to have bought it. Fuel now is looking quite low, gone to yellow to red. Now, if you completed this game, let me know. 2 lives left. You have to collect fuel, a bit like River Raid. I've got to the end, hooray! So for the newbie noob, stage 1 is completable. And now we're in space, and I think we just need to get to the end, avoiding hitting any of these other red ships. You can go up and down with the elevation, so it's a little bit hard to know what elevation the other aircraft are at. They're not heat-seeking missiles firing at us. Now this is going incredibly slow. Oh man, very, oh man, it's like I'm in slow motion here. Yeah, this bit is quite poor. If you played the arcade game, let me know. I've seen a few screenshots and a few plays, but you know. Yeah, they've done as good as they possibly can, I think, on the zxspectrum. There's a lot moving on the screen at the same time there. I do like the background in the space. It's not parallax scrolling, it's all moving as big bumpy chunk, but there's some galaxies in the background. A couple of Milky Ways look exactly the same as each other. What are the chances of that? You know those towns that are twin with other towns? You never get identical twin towns, do you? That would be interesting. Right, there's a Saturn-type planet in the background, or it's either some decapitated guy wearing a trilby. Could be me. Maybe it is. If it is me, comment below. Nick. Yes. Right, how long have I got to survive here? Enemy 18 hit. Then we get to the next stage. It's quite It's more exciting than Havoc because of the colours, but it's too slow. The speed of it kills the thing, and in the end it's just a little bit dull. I don't feel the need for speed here like Tom Cruise did in Top Gun. I feel the need for slowness. Pressing the key, player one, Nick. Right, off we go again, so the maze should be a little bit tricky. Havoc was continuous, it didn't split up into different levels. This one stops. The jet fighter going over, oh, I've got to get through there. Jet fighter going over a wall, that's through. Good. Yes. I might put a cheat on for Infinite Live to see how far we get there, but I don't think it's going to make a great difference. I haven't got a cheat for immunity, which is a bit of a shame. Then we see some other levels, but you get the general idea of this, really. Each level is slight. You've seen the graphics. Each level is slightly more tricky than the one before, with these space-type ones in the middle. Watch your fuel, big nose. I think that was a line from Top Gun, wasn't it? Watch your fuel, big nose. Yeah. Better. So overall, better than Havoc. Interesting idea. Spectrum is struggling with it a little bit. There's a lot to move at the same time. The colours, yeah, the Spectrum is struggling with a little bit. I'll be interested to see what the Commodore 64 version looks like. If that's much better than this. They'll probably solve the colour clash for sure. But, you know, I grew up with ZXspectrum 48K, so I get a little bit more nostalgia for the look of the thing and the colour palette than the Commodore 64 ones, but it's what you grew up with. Some games are better on one system, some games are better on another system. There you go. So I try and look at it independently there. There's two players. If you do a two-player game, you play independently of each other. It's turn-based. That's typical Spectrum, that bit, those things going up. You can change the skill level, define your keys, number of players, instructions if you want them, joystick and start. I'll still be Nick. Now, I should have a cheat on now for Infinite Liars, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I'm probably going to get to the same sort of stage I did before. Through the wall we go. Through the Wall is a breakout clone on the Horizon tape that come with the original ZX Spectrum. Now, if you watched this far into the video, thank you very much. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I say that on most videos. So a huge thank you to those people that have subscribed and listened to me say that a million times, but it does help. It does sort of like help. So thank you there. If we ever got to 1 million subscribers, then maybe I could do it full time. And talking about that, a massive thank you to the members which are keeping this channel on the road. Thank you very much. Sometimes I think I'm doing okay. Sometimes I think I'm doing absolutely terrible. So you know, I got a fragile ego. So thank you for your comments there and being members or subscribers to the channel. Not compulsory by any means, but because it's here to beat stress. If it's doing that for you, I mean, you might not ever comment, you might not ever talk to me, but as long as it's making your life a little bit better, departure from reality, from the stresses of everyday life, then hooray, good stuff. Boof. Right, I do put up links to the games on Twitter, Jenkins7Nick. I don't know what's going to happen to Twitter in the next few years with Elon Musk in charge. I don't know. But if it ever comes to a subscription-based thing, I'll leave the thing like a shot. Yes. Free speech, but for money. I don't know. But anyway, so I drive my jet through this mysterious land, trying to blow up stuff like you do. Like you do. Arcade cabinet, 1982. This one was 3 years later. 3 years later. Almost 1,000 days, or is it? It is over 1,000 days, isn't it? Do the maths, big nose. That's what Carol Vorderman used to say on Countdown. This is the slowest jet ever. I think if this jet went into war, unless it's a spaceship, looks a bit like a Klingon bird of prey. But if it went into battle, I think it get blown up quite a lot, like a Klingon bird of prey. I don't think they did very well. These ground emplacements can only fire horizontally, they can't fire up. There's the occasional rocket there in yellow, firing up there to try and ruin our day. And then this crazy force field, which going through that is more luck than judgment, I think. I'm through. Lucky me. So it's going to come up soon to that space bit. We've got to try and avoid lots of red ships. It's quite boring, this, isn't it? Definitely playing at the wrong speed. Yeah, fair enough. Interesting. A lot of colours, but yeah, overall, it doesn't really work. You know, a kid playing it, how old would I have been now? I would have been 11. Yeah, if I'd been 8 or 9, it might have captured my imagination a bit more, so I've got to bear that in mind. But as 11, I think, there's other better stuff I could be playing at this point. Quicker moving things. But anyway, a kid's imagination can do a lot to a game. It can, you know, it can upgrade it beyond what it's actually worth, creating backstories and all that sort of stuff. But I'm still a space cadet, which I'm probably going to stay as a space cadet. I think there was the amount of tangents I go off on. I think there was a pinball game, wasn't there, on the PC called Space Cadet. I might have reviewed that at some point. Anyway, let's get round these strange red ships. They seem to be able to bump into each other without any damage. It's hardly TIE fighters versus X-Wings, this, is it? Luke, you're still in first gear. What's happening? Nothing. I'm just saving fuel. May the Force be with you, always. And maybe, step on it. Yeah. What else can I say? I think I pretty much said all I can say about this game, really. I mean, a lot of people are highly... this was recommended a few times, so a lot of people hold it in high regard. So you've got the nostalgia there stronger than what I would have had from having it back in the day. And you might remember it in your memories as it being quicker than it really is. But in emulation, if you wanted to, you could speed it up. I could put it on ×2 for a different sort of experience. But I'm trying to represent the sort of experience you would have had back in the day. And this is pretty much it. So much going on here. How many things are moving on the screen at the same time there? Might have worked better as a horizontal, but a vertical scroller shooter rather than this. But, they've done their own thing. The angle's very similar to a stage in the Return of the Jedi game on the Spectrum. It's really a bit quick. We use controlling the Millennium Falcon for this particular stage, going into the Death Star and blowing stuff up and coming back out again. I've viewed that on a number of systems, actually. Actually, 2. Spectrum and the Commodore Amiga, I think. I need to double check that. I think so. I don't think I reviewed Return of the Jedi on the Commodore 64. I might be wrong. That's something I need to do then, if I haven't already. Yes. Time recording, coming up to 1,050 ZX Spectrum games reviewed. If you've reviewed over 1,000, hooray! If you've been there since the beginning, then well done you. It's been a tough journey, and it continues to be a tough journey, but we'll look at as much stuff as we can. Will we ever run out of content to review? Hell no! Never. Never, ever, 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 Trevor. And other people. Right, I've been going through this asteroid storm of red ships for ages. Surely that's the end. No, they still won't keep coming. That's it. I've done it. I've survived enough time. Right, press any key, player 1. The chance of anything coming from Mars is 1,000,000 to 1, they said. I wish I put a pound on it. The chances of anything coming from Mars was 1,000,000 to 1, they said. Bit like me trying to get past this wall. Glib, glib. Right, fuel's staying pretty much stable. I think I've got a cheap for infinite fuel on, actually. I put infinite lives. I think I've got infinite fuel too. But if you're playing the game, you need to keep shooting those yellow things, and you can only shoot them by going as low as possible and giving them a blast. Yes. Havoc had something similar. You had to shoot different bits to get the fuel. There weren't big yellow things like this. Oh man, these walls are frustrating because of the angle, you can't quite see where you're going. But anyway, I think I will leave that there. You've seen enough. It's an okay game. Would have liked it back in the day. Now, hasn't aged particularly well. It's better than Havoc. Conversions go, I think it's the best Spectrum could have done, but it's a little bit dull because of the speed of the thing. So I hope you liked having a look at that game. That was Zaxxon on the ZX Spectrum, 48K, published by US Gold in 1985. Of course, based on the arcade cabinet from SEGA in 82. Got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro, any ports, conversions, then by all means put that in the comment section below. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.